start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I live by the old code of second floor!
Why look for a scientific explanation when you can put blind trust in an invisible Sky Daddy?
Sky Daddy all the way.
Go watch your crappy sitcom! Turn up full volume, why don't you?
Aubrey, weird, I can't even get through my couch!
So you guys were explaining this to me a little bit at Ale House, but like sort of help me and the audience understand like what the religious experience is, or the like perspective of most people in the UK. So I feel like it's really different from here.
Mm-hmm. Massive melting pot. There's everything everywhere.
But a lot more traditional stuff.
But it's very traditional, and from what obviously I've experienced both for like a long period of time. So here, your church is more of a community. It's more like it's adapted. I know the church here is like huge, so it's like it is like kind of 1 in a million.
Yeah.
But like from the experience there, is you have the youth, you have the kids way, and then you have like obviously just the mainstream church. So then like there's a lot of different things you can go into. Like there's something for my age where I can go in, even though it's still not I found that it's not the best environment to make friends, because everyone has grown up in that church, and like there are some new people that come in, but like it is very cliquey, and it's so it's like there's the interns that are trying to make friends with everybody, but they're not making actual connections. They're just trying to be your friend, to be like not popular but popular in a way. So it's like I found that quite difficult, because I feel, from what I can see, and I'm a little bit perceptive, but
You are.
just a tad.
So from what I've seen is I know when like someone's speaking to me and not caring about what I'm saying, or caring about like the connection there, because they're just speaking to me to speak to someone, because that's their job, is to speak to everyone and make everyone feel included. But I feel like it's not genuine.
Transactional.
If that makes sense. It's just like, I have to do this, so I'm going to talk to you. It's like I got a phone call because they wanted to invite me to The Voice, and I was like, hey, yeah, I go to The Voice. Like, I know. And they're like, well, we'd love if you come. And it was like a business transaction, and I was like, you're not actually wanting to speak to me and connect with me. You're just trying to get as many people to come to this as possible, which I get, because then you experience The Voice and you experience that, because I did love The Voice. It's a great experience, and I learned a lot from it. But it was very, it was like almost like a hostile environment in a way, but it's like loving but hostile. Like it's very hard to explain.
Like gun to head.
It was more like no one's judging you. There was nothing of that, but like everyone wanted to stay in their own groups, and even when like I'd be on my own, like hardly anyone would come talk to me, and it was just a bit like, well, this is not really a great place to meet people, because everyone's so like they're on their own paths, and they're just going on their own paths, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not in the intern group. I didn't grow up here. I didn't go to the school here, because it's a school as well. So I was like, I don't have those connections. And I met a couple of like Aaliyah's friends and stuff that kind of went to The Voice, and like they kind of like brought me in a little bit, but like I was still just like not. It was like a brief conversation, and usually, because obviously British, most of the conversations were, oh, you're the British girl. I'm like, yeah, and then that is like the line of the conversations, which I found quite tough, because most conversations I have is, oh, you're English, England, but it's just like, oh, but I'm also like a person. Like I have other things to talk about other than like England, which is, I love, obviously.
Like Minecraft.
It's like where I'm from. It's where I'm from, and I love talking about it.
You're
and,
a cool person too.
But I'm not just England. Like I'm not like the Union Jack. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we kind of freak out. Americans like freak out when we meet someone that's foreign.
Yeah.
Which is like it's fine, but like after like
oh, there's one. We found one.
And then it's like everyone in Europe, like not.
No one cares.
The thing in Europe is it's all over TikTok as well. it's just like you'll be there, and it's not all Americans. You'll just be sat having dinner in Spain, like outside at a bistro, and all you hear is just Americans going, like nattering, like saying their whole lives, and you're just like, why do you have to speak so loud? Like you can hear them coming down the street, and like Europeans, like everyone's just like, you don't need to be like
We're not gonna do
loud.
good in Europe.
Yeah. It's just one of those things like you just like speak like just to think of this American stereotype for like us when we're in Europe is like everyone's like ugh. When you can just hear it's just the level of the volume.
Yeah.
Like the volume just needs to go like there. But then that's the same like when we're over here like everyone like it's like everything about England and like
Just again, it's fine. But yeah, so like.
Okay, here's a question. What's the best time of year to travel to London and Europe? Early spring?
Spring.
Oh yeah, probably spring.
Because summer's like our houses are built to retain heat.
Yeah.
Like built to retain heat. So when it's like a heat wave, it's
brutal.
not. People are like
Can't
heat
crank
waves
up
in
that
England
AC.
are like not bad. They are like you're in bed with hot sweats and you have a fan on and the window's open and there's no air.
That sucks.
Like it's
No
just
escape.
No. So like you're just there stuffing and you're just lying there can't sleep and I'm like and no one has AC
That sucks.
because it's not a thing for anyone to have AC because it's more cold than it is warm. So like when it's a summer heat wave, it's great because you go outside, everyone goes to the pub. Everyone's at the pub. It's so good. But then like at night, you're just like, take me now.
Should I
Like,
bring my
someone take me now, please.
Should I bring my cowboy hat? And boots?
Yeah,
belt-
dude,
and
do
belt
that,
buckle?
do that. Why do you
I just
You're
wanna
American, dude. Why do you care what they think?
I want to just stand out. I want the pickpocketers to see me and say that's an easy target.
I wouldn't. There's like you can do like people do like cowboy nights. Like a lot more like British people are wearing cowboy hats and cowboy boots, but it's a theme.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring one of those.
I would advise against it.
What do you think about Nathan bringing his
Swear.
Anasuke costume over there?
That'd be
Nathan would get Nathan
love
get
to
beat
see
up.
Nathan get taken, dude.
Nathan would be robbed as soon as he gets off the
We
plane.
need to hire Liam Neeson after the Nathan would get taken.
Nathan would be robbed as soon as he got off the plane. They'd be like, that's an easy target.
I aspire to have Nathan's confidence.
Yeah,
that is
Same.
the
So-
carefreeness of Nathan.
I was gonna
wish
say
had.
the
Where
thing
is
about
he?
the thing about our friend group that I've always loved so much, and this is like from the beginning of Second Floor with all the other guys too, is that like when we are all together, each person has kind of like their own little like special ability.
Yeah.
Like Nathan's special ability is his ability to unlock, make you feel like it's safe to be yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy doesn't give a crap what people think.
Well, it was like when
And it's like-
I've literally met you guys for the first time,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've known you guys for ages.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Zach's special ability is like he sort of like holds the
the glue.
community.
You're the
It's
glue.
like the community factor. And he'll make sure everyone feels like included.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. And like Benji's really, really good at like when you are like out of words and don't have anything else to talk about, he'll just keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
He will help explain games. Like he will take that role when I'm like really don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to see like that's what we love. That's what our heart really is about this like second floor experience thing is we want to give people the experience of being understood and being like who they are and feeling like they can be themselves.
Yeah.
And because my experience on second floor when I first got to college was like, no idea who these guys are. I'm coming for the first time, like I'm away from my parents, all the things, right? And they were just like, first night, welcoming me in, telling me all the stories about this place and like, you know, asking me about myself and like giving me permission to not just be who I was right then, but like grow into who I didn't even know was in me. Like, oh my gosh, like I love the person I was like became because of that. And there's a magic about that.
Yeah.
And we always talked about like, can we bottle that? We give it to someone else.
I think it's like I think I'm like an open book. I will tell people about my personal life really quickly, which I'm like probably is a problem. But like the people that I then do that to, like, are then some people that have become my closest friends. But then some people are like
Yeah.
but like I rather always be like that than like you find people, because like, as you know, I do talk a little bit too much when it comes to things, and I spill a lot of information that I probably shouldn't when I first meet people. But then it kind of lets me gauge like the vibe.
Sure. Yeah.
I do think that for like you guys, I assume you both, I know you grew up in church, I assume you also grew up in church.
Yeah.
So like you, especially here, you're like kind of taught to bring the church outside of the church and bring it into like your daily life, and bring it like into like kind of just like keep your faith like obviously outside church. Whereas like in England, you just go, faith is in the church, and like as soon as you leave those doors, it's like almost like switched off. Because it's like you go do it, like not do it.
It's not like it's a chore. Some like, but like for our generation, it's like.
It's not somewhere like with this church here that like I would want to go to, because there's things to do, there's cadences, there's like people to hang out with, and like you have like the bar, grill, and like obviously you have like there's pool tables and stuff. Like it's social, it's like almost like a little social place. Yeah. Whereas like our church is like you just go, you listen to what they have to say, and then you leave, and that's like.
There's something more common with like traditional. Like
it's just proper
churches.
like.
But we don't have the option to have like a Christian church. Like even if we have a Christian church,
there is a few of them.
It's like a little tiny building, and it's not a place that I want to go into.
It's not the same vibe. But like, I do like the tradition of our church. But then like, I'm not like, I'm gonna go to church today.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. It's almost like I would be ashamed to be like, oh, I go to that church, or like I am a Catholic. I was like, I wouldn't go out and say that, where you guys will go out and say that. You're like, I'm Christian. Like,
I think everyone like in England kind of keeps it to themselves. Like everyone's very quite like, no one's. I think because it's such a melting pot in like London as well. Everyone's just like doing their own thing. And like no one's spouting anything from the rooftops. Like everyone's just like, I'm just gonna keep. That's my personal life. Like that's my personal bubble. That is my little thing. That's for me. Keep it to yourself. Yeah. Like you don't really discuss like religion or anything. Like my boyfriend's Roman Catholic as well, but like neither of us go to church unless it's like special.
But like the church here, they kind of teach you values to like put into your day-to-day life.
Like what?
Like for example, like one that I personally have grown to is grace. Giving people grace, because it's like for me, I'm like I see it as it's everyone's first time on earth. Like no one's been here before. They don't have like obviously older people have more experiences, but it's still like their first time here. Like it's like everyone's new. So I'm like I've learned that even especially working in the airport. It's I work at 4 a.m. with people who just want to get on their flight. I get it. So I'm like I give most people grace on their flights, especially when a pet peeve is that no one pays for their carry-ons, and I'm like I get it. You don't want to have to pay for a bag, but also at the same time, it's a weight imbalance thing. We need to know how many carry-on bags are going onto the plane, because that's a weight thing.
We don't want it to crash.
So, and like looking at the safety of it, it's important. So if I see someone who hasn't got a carry-on, I probably should be saying this, who hasn't got a carry-on bag, I give them a check. I check it for them for free, because I'm like,
that's nice.
I'm like I want to give you grace for not. Like some people like they don't know, because obviously some airlines you get it for free, some airlines you don't, and like especially in Allegiant, not every airport like does it. They just let people on and they don't care. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check this bag for free for you today, but just so you know in the future, you do need to pay for a carry-on bag, because someone else might not be as kind to you. So
and that's amazing to say.
So I like to I've definitely, and I had one of my supervisors shout at me and in front of like my flight attendants as well as all the passengers who were sat in the area, and I kind of like took it on the chin, because I was like, you know what, that's the first time I've been shouted at and everyone's stressed. So I was like, I'm going to give her some grace in this situation and just be like, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to do anything, because because it's like, I get it, it's a stressful environment, we have to get these planes out on time, otherwise it's thousands of dollars for just having a minute delay. So it's like, I get it, everyone is stressed, it's a hard job to do.
It is.
So I'm like, okay, I want to give her some grace in this, because I'm like, I cried, because I was like, I'm being shouted at, but I'm also like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to take it. It's my first time being shouted at by her. I know like stakes are high, things are stressed, but then like everyone else kind of made it a problem around me, and then she's ended up losing her job.
Oh, wow.
So it was. So I don't feel guilty, but like, because obviously things happen. She's
like,
done other. It's not that because she didn't lose her job because of that situation. She has done a lot of other things.
Gotcha.
But I
it was
also,
like final straw.
me having to write a statement on it added to the fuel to the fire.
Sure.
Whereas I preferred, and I said this when I was on like having not an interview, but having like a meeting about the situation. I was like, I want to give her like grace. I'm not bothered about this situation at all. I don't, not that I don't care, but I'm like, it was okay. It wasn't okay, but it was like, it's okay. Like, I get it. It's like, it's a job. Like, I'm not expecting everything to be sunshine and rainbows. Like,
It seems like you put yourself in other people's shoes a lot.
yes. So I was just like, so I've really tried to implement grace more into my life for people, even though I already do that a little bit before. So it's just like, just giving people, I guess, to me, grace is like the benefit of the doubt, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, not completely, but like, that's kind of like how I see it. And I'm like, I am putting myself in their shoes. I'm like, okay, maybe they just need someone to like uplift them or like give them like some grace. So I do find like the church is good at that, in saying like, hey, like these are like some values that like you probably should bring out into the outside world and like not help people, but like help people. So
a good definition that I've always loved is like the difference between mercy and grace is mercy is not getting what you do deserve. Grace is getting what you don't deserve. And so like those people in that moment didn't deserve your patience, the way they treated you, but you chose to give them what they don't deserve, which is great, which was grace, which was patience.
I probably need to do that more.
but I do think the church is good at like teaching you kind of to do that.
What do you wish the church did better?
I feel guilt tripped a lot.
Really?
Yes.
Please
Like,
explain, because I'm fascinated by
I'm,
this.
as a new Christian, I guess, like learning about the faith and like joining the faith, I find like I can't see if like I'm not doing enough. Like especially with like tithing and stuff, it's like you need to give money, you're not giving enough money.
Wild the other day when I saw that. I was like,
What do you guys
the
think about that?
10% is wild.
Really?
In our church, they just like, you go, and if you put a penny in, that's enough for them. Like, they are happy to get whatever they get. They're never, in the Roman Catholic Church, no one's ever like, if you don't pay, God doesn't love you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's literally
topic here for a lot of
but
pastors.
like, do you know what? When I saw that yesterday, I was like, how is there an Apple Pay for people to be like, oh, if you pay more money, like that's you
Doing
doing that, like,
seeing the visual of them like walking you through how to like put money in and then pay, that was I've never seen
that's
that.
like
But then also, yes, it's insane, but also there have been times when it gets close to the end of the year in your church where you say, look at what your money's done. And it's like, and they give you literally like a slideshow, videos of like what everyone's money has been able to do, like save these people, help these people. And yes, that is like amazing. Like, so I understand it, but also the pressure.
So here's my question. You said you understand how the money can be used for good, but have you ever been given a good understanding about the point behind giving money? Like why they ask for it?
Well, at our church, the money is just to keep the church going. Like
Right,
in the
but
UK.
I mean like for you. Like what does it do for you?
Nothing for me. I just help. You just put money in. You're just like,
I'm asking like not that you know the right answer or not. I'm asking if they have ever like made that explicitly clear. Like I guess I'm asking you specifically.
They like, I think from the times I've gone, I've been told maybe once or twice what tithing is, and even now I still don't 100% get it, because I know that like for me, from what I can remember, it's like you're not sacrificing, but like sacrificing to then give and to then he's gonna like kind of refill you. Like, so if like the more you give, the more he like kind of like gives back. That's how like I've been taught it or like told it, and that's what I've taken from it. But like at the same time, it's just like I still don't really know what tithing is or like.
That's so. I'm asking these questions because I'm really fascinated to hear your like raw. We're over here like cringing.
hitting Zach
Because
deep in his soul.
we're cringing not at you guys, but at the fact that the church has done such a poor job
Yeah, because it's like, I
of
think
explaining
from
what's supposed
what
to
I
be.
saw on Sunday,
Yeah.
it's like
It's sad.
it's linked to like the way I took it is like if you don't pay enough money, God doesn't love you enough, and
That's
that is
how it
wrong.
feels.
But that's wrong. Like it shouldn't be like you need to give 10%. Like give what you can. That's what it should be. A different one. Like
Okay, let me ask you
give
this.
what
Let
you
me ask you
can.
this. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm curious why you think it's wrong. What about it frustrates
Like,
you?
I think the expectation of like 10%. Like if you think about that as someone's annual salary, that's a lot of money, and it kind of feels like they're like getting rich off of these. Like I know the money is going towards good things, but it's like the expectation of like, what if you don't, like the people that aren't giving 10%, it's not enough, and then they're sacrificing more, and then their life could be getting worse because they're giving so much money away.
Yeah, well, think about this side of it too. Where like, so you have like someone who's a millionaire, like a billionaire, or whatever. Like
That makes like they can afford that.
10% of that, like
Nothing.
that's nothing to them. That's a blip
They're like-
in their bank statement. But someone who's like, you know, a middle income family, or whatever,
Yeah.
10% is a
lot.
hit,
Yeah.
and that hurts. So like, it
It
takes
should be
away.
a spectrum.
Exactly, like for the
like
millionaire,
taxes.
for the millionaire or whatever, just like write
Yeah.
a check 10%. It's like, where's the sacrifice?
Yeah.
That's what giving is all about.
Yeah.
It's like you deciding on your own, like that's like a relationship you are building
Yeah.
with God of like, okay, Lord, like what am I going to sacrifice
Yeah.
for you, and like how am I going to
Yeah.
trust you with that?
Yeah.
And that's like how you build that relationship
Yeah.
with God. And like, giving is really like a form of worship.
Which I was fascinated that
Yeah.
the only thing that they did for worship weekend is sing.
Yeah. Well,
But and no hate, like I'm not.
That's the state of the church in America.
So it's really, it can be really nuanced because we have to kind of dissect what the church organization is peddling
Yeah.
and then what the Bible actually teaches, because sadly that they tend to be a little bit
Disconnected.
different. Yes, disconnect is a great word to use, and like I can just give like a personal example of like when my wife and I we just feel like a tug on our heart, like okay, you know, this certain missionary came up and spoke or whatever, like, or you know, we're a part of this local church organization. I mean, we're a part of a local organization, church at Round Rock that is building a new building right now. And it's like, okay, the reality is that costs money, right? And the purpose behind that is to grow the capacity to allow more people to come in and hopefully hear the gospel.
Yeah.
What tends to get muddled in that is the bottom line, which is we're running a nonprofit organization,
Yeah.
and if you don't give your money, we're not going
gonna be able to do it
not only are
anymore.
we not going to be able to do it anymore, our families aren't going to be able to eat. So when you put a human being psychologically in that kind of position,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they start to figure out that, after I do a message on Sunday about tithing, the next Monday when I checked my books, things look pretty good, right? Because I stirred some
Yeah.
people's hearts. Like, okay, praise God, right? Is there anything like outright wrong about that biblically? Some people would say probably not. But how easy is it to just take a little turn here, a little turn there, and now all of a sudden all you can think about is, am I going to make payroll this week? Like, how can I get a little extra out of this? And then all of a sudden it sucks. We have so much empathy. We've been accused a lot of bashing
Yeah.
the church. We never want to come across as bashing the church.
Me and Joseph, like specifically.
Yes. But the fact of the matter is we have a lot of empathy for pastors because they're leading an organization in an environment that incentivizes manipulation. It just does. And it sucks. But when you walk into a church like we walked into on Sunday, you can't help but look around and be like, holy crap, this place is insane.
Yeah.
This place is insane. Like
how
much money did it take to
the
build this?
size of that church
Yes.
is like 10 times
And so you gotta,
any church.
You got to
in
ask
England.
yourself, like when Jesus, here's a good example. When Jesus came, he looked at the religious leaders of the day and said, you guys are whitewashed tombs. You look on the outside, but you have dead man's bones in your heart, right? He literally made up a new term. Like the term hypocrites in the Greek and Aramaic, like he made that term up to use it as like a slang term for everyone listening to realize that it's an actor term. It's two-faced, right? And we like to ask ourselves some hard questions of like, okay, if Jesus came right now and he looked at what we're doing, what would he say?
Yeah.
What would he say? Because the reality is when the story of the widow who puts in 2 copper coins that aren't even worth a penny, and he says, like,
that's more than
truly she has given more than all these men who are dumping in gold coins.
Yeah.
The freaking lesson there is it's about the heart, it's not about the amount.
Yeah.
Yet
I feel like
with
what was happening on Sunday, it feels like the amount matters.
Yes.
That's what I got
and
from it.
here's the crazy part is that no one will ever say that out loud, but everyone feels it.
Yeah.
Like the message you receive
It's there. Everyone knows.
is there. And that's what Zach and I struggle with is, okay, yes, no system is ever going to be perfect. Roman Catholicism, Christianity, evangelicals, like go down the list.
Money
makes
the world go round.
And money makes the world go round. And money's not inherently evil. But your heart can turn that real quick.
Yeah.
Right? The love of it.
Yeah, I think like what's most aggravating to me is like, because like Joseph said, we grew up in church. I love like the church and what they do. Obviously, like you said, they do so much good for the world with the money you give them, whatever. Like the things you learn for just like daily practical like life. Like it's amazing. Like there's so many benefits that come from having this like entity, right? That Christians can gather at. But it just seems like for someone like you, like we've been raised in church, right? Like, but for someone like you or like other like new believers who go, it's like the church does not really do a good job of I guess like displaying or teaching or being an example of like what the true essence of Christianity is. It's like it all becomes about the building itself and like how much can you serve there? How much can you give? Like how much can you like basically look like a Christian on the outside with very little care about what you look like on the inside. And then on the flip side of that, like I 1000% believe like the essence of Christianity, like the closest like I've ever felt to like what Jesus talks about is what we experience with like in our family, like what we experience within our friends, because like there's a true and genuine passion for like our relationship with Christ, and we each like feed off of that. And I think that's why like I 1000% believe like that's why we feel the way we do when we're all together. Like that is why, because like we all have
There's just so much
like,
love everywhere.
exactly,
No one's like hoping for the worst, whereas
exactly.
like in church I feel like even on a regardless of church, on a day-to-day basis, wherever you are, there's never that like people at work will want like you to trip and fall, if your friends want you to trip and fall, and it's really hard to find those friends which are just pure love. And like I say to my my girlfriends that I have like that are my solid girls, like I say to them all the time, you nourish my soul, because I just feel like I go to them and I just feel so good after hanging out with them. Like we all say to each other like we needed that for our souls, like you fed like my soul today. And then like when I'm not with them I'm like, oh. But like there's certain people like this family, we all feed each other's souls, like we nourish that like completely, because it's just pure like love, unconditional
Mm-hmm.
love.
And if I could speak to even like what you were talking about the feeling of church is in this building and you go outside and it switches off, right? What's so fascinating, like a quick like theological point that changed the game when Jesus came was that's how it was with the Pharisees. It was you go with the Jewish people, you go to the temple, and for 2,000 however long it was, like the temple was where God's presence was, right? And the whole freaking point of Jesus dying on the cross was to cover our sins so that they didn't have to go give sacrifices anymore.
Yeah.
And so we call it like the veil being torn, like the actual there was a giant like super thick curtain veil between, they call it like the Holy of Holies where God's presence resided. No one could go in there without doing sacrifices because you die. Because God's presence is so holy that he can't have sin in his presence. So literally what happened was when Jesus died, there was an earthquake and that curtain tore from top to bottom as a symbolic representation of Jesus bridging that divide, that he's called our mediator between us and like Father, like the Father. And the point of that is when you receive Christ and you have a relationship with him, he enters, the Bible talks about like the Holy Spirit, like, you know, the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like the Holy Spirit is also God too, and he enters your soul. We're called temples of the Holy Spirit. So the temple went from a physical place to a spiritual place, so that wherever you go, the Holy Spirit goes with you. God comes with you. And it seems like, though, the frustrating part is we don't live like that, though. We still live like as if
we have to go to a temple.
We have to go
to
to a
experience
temple
God.
to experience God. And it's like, why are we doing that? Because it's not supposed to be like that. And we have access to all these gifts and all this power through God, through us, if we operate in that love, like the love of Christ. And that's why we're so passionate about this, because we've experienced what it does. It transforms. Like the whole point of becoming a Christian is not to look any different, make more money. It's not for any of that. The point is to die. Like yourself, you die to yourself. You say, God, I'm done living for myself. I want to live for you because I believe that you have my best intentions in mind. Even if I may not understand it all the time, like that faith and that trust is what I allow to lead me in my life, instead of me being like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, so I'm going to do it. And I find that, you know, lo and behold, when I do what I feel like God's leading me to do, I end up better.
Yeah. I feel like this world's become very like transactional. Like you can't do anything anymore with someone expecting something back. And it's very rare, like you have certain friends where like one of my best mates from uni, like we'll do things for each other but we never expect anything back. But then everyone in this whole world expects something back. You can't just like do something good for someone and like you expect them to do something back to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, but then it's also like people take advantage of
Because
you.
what's the first thing that you think when someone does something nice for you? Like,
What is like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? When it's someone that doesn't tend to do those things. But then also like, I've like when I do things for people and I do a lot, and then if I stop doing them, then that relationship is just like.
I'll actually give you an example of this. We did this like month-long fast in July and August, and part of what I wanted to do was Nathan and Benji wanted to kind of launch like their business, Hands and Feet Landscaping. And I was like, guys, what if we just went and knocked on somebody's door? I was like, hey, can we mow your lawn for free? Just to bless you. Just do something nice. And the lady that we ultimately ended up doing it for was so suspicious. Like she opened the door. She was like, I was like, hey, you know, we're offering to mow someone's lawn for free. And she's like, no, don't want it, nope. And I was like, okay. I said, if you say no, I'm just gonna go knock on your neighbor's door and I'm gonna offer them the same thing until someone tells me yes. And she stops. She goes, well, why are you doing this? I said, I'll be honest. Like my friends and I are starting a landscaping company. We're trying to get the word out. We're trying to like. I literally had to make up a reason. No, I just had to make up a reason. Like, that's not really why we were doing it. We were doing it to help someone and feel good about ourselves. But I had to make up a reason so she could be like, oh, they're not, like, no one ever thinks you're doing it just to help someone. That's how messed up
Yeah.
humanity is. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks like you have an ulterior motive. It's like, okay, well, I'll just make something up so that you have a reason. Like, and then I saw her face. She was just like, oh, you know. And then
Okay,
she
that
tried to
makes
give
sense.
she tried to give us money. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I really don't want your money. This is really free.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, you're welcome to get the word out. This is not for that.
Yeah.
We're literally just trying to help someone out. And then she stayed outside and was talking to us and like, yeah, you know, like my family this, my house that, and I was struggling with this, and she just opened up to us. And I was like, whoa. And that's what happens, right? Like you put
Yeah.
that energy out and God just takes it and he runs with it.
I feel like that will carry on through her though.
Yes. It's
So
a
then
butterfly effect.
Yeah, so then she's gonna be like, oh, they did something nice for me. Then I'm gonna do
Yes.
nice for them.
It's a positive cycle and it's extremely powerful. But it works the other way around too. And we see a lot of the negative effects of
Oh,
that in our world every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I've learned more about the Bible here.
Oh yeah, I have never read a Bible.
They don't talk about the Bible?
They don't. You don't. Coming in new, obviously. I haven't been taught, like, not taught, but like even spoke about or how to worship, how to read the Bible, where to even start. I know there's not like a right place to start.
It's because they
but
do
like,
it all for you.
but like,
That's why.
I don't know where like to begin.
Like you just get given verse in like our church. Like you just have people stand up and say like, this is this one like Corinthians like da da, and then
What-
they just read it. And
I'm
then
curious
that's
to
it.
hear, because you just said I've never even like, I don't even know.
I have a Bible, like I have a baby Bible that
Yeah.
we had from when we were kids. I've never owned, like I said, like when I walked into Michaela's room when I first got here, like the Bible that you guys have got her, I was like, this is gorgeous, this is really nice.
It's nice,
With
right?
the inscription and everything on it, I was just like, that's
Has
really
your name?
lovely.
Sick.
But like, I've never actually like picked up a Bible and read it.
I'd be curious to hear like your perception of what the Bible is,
I couldn't give you one.
like from anything that you've heard.
Honestly, like with our church, the way it works, I literally like the book that I look at the most is the song book.
Right, because you sing it, right?
That's it. Well, we sing the songs that the church has, and not every church has the same songs.
Okay.
So we have like it's a green book that's like been there for years and years and years, and then you just have the numbers on the wall, and then you have your song that you just look at and then you sing it. And no one sings with passion. Everyone's just like, like you have the old lady behind that's like singing her heart out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Fair enough. But like everyone, it's like being in a zombie world in a way. Like everyone's there, everyone just like it's very like a low vibrational frequency. When the only time I'd say like church felt really light is when we went for Nonna's funeral.
Oh,
Like
no.
I just felt, but like it was
disagree.
sad, but like
Sure.
it like the energy wasn't like low
I
frequency.
disagree.
Okay, you can disagree. I was really sad, but like I didn't feel like I didn't feel like sluggish like I do when I go
Sure.
to church for like a normal mass. Like when mum says to us like, we're going to mass today, I'm like, what
Yeah, it's
one?
boring. It's
Like
boring.
what one? Like you go and you're checking the time.
Yeah.
Like I know mass is nearly over when it's like, come get your bread. Like I'm like, yes. We're going home because it's just like you're there. It's
So
the same. It's a routine.
Psalms
it's
is-
the same routine
is
over and over again. You go. You have them walk around with the cross, and and you sit, and then you sit, and then they say their piece, and then you stand, and then they say more, and then you do like sit, and then they bring the other book out. You stand, and you do like the cross there, and then you do your shake hands, like peace be with you, and then you go down to your knees, and then you sit, and then you
Yeah.
The way I like see it is from like start to like nearly the end. It's like everyone's like not possessed, but like possessed because it's like. But then
Tranced.
all of a sudden at the end, the priest usually has like, all right, guys, like blah, blah,
It's a
blah, blah,
lie.
like has like a little bit of like a talk, whereas like
Humanity.
it's not based on anything.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden it goes from like really like very like controlled. So then all of a sudden just like, okay, like you guys have a
It
good day.
depends on the
And then
priest as
everyone
well.
leaves.
Like the one that did Nonna's funeral, he's a really good priest. Like he's got so much like light energy to him. Like it's really lovely. When he just talks at the end, like it's, oh, that's a real human being there. Whereas like the rest of it is just like everyone knows that they're just there. Like I don't know if some people might enjoy it, but like it's not like what I experienced on Sunday is like everyone's just like, yeah, we're here. This is like everyone singing, people putting their hands up, and like I was sitting there on Sunday, I was like, I'm sorted.
At our church,
Do you know what I mean? Like it's more like
at our church, I'm not hearing the word. At this church, I'm hearing the word. I'm hearing
so
what
you're
you're saying.
engaged.
Give me your, like, how your perceptions changed from, because I'm assuming when you came here, you were just like Alyssia.
Yes.
And now you've had this year to
When
kind
I
of.
found out she was going to church, I was like, what?
Yeah.
like-
Well, so help me understand like where you are at right now.
I don't really know where I'm at. I'm kind of in.
I guess I mean, sorry, that was a bad way to ask the question. What is your perception of the Bible currently, as compared to hers?
I wouldn't say not in limbo, but like I am probably not doing enough, honestly.
When you say doing enough, what do you
Well,
mean?
like obviously what I know, I feel like I should be like reading the Bible more and like kind of getting to know like the word and the stories and just everything, because I don't really know much about it other than like what you get like kind of learn in school.
The basic of Judas betrayal.
So yeah, so it's just like so I don't really understand much of that. But then, because obviously when I used to go to church, I probably had no clue what they were saying.
Nah.
I can't understand them. I don't even know what they're talking about. Like I'm just
in
there.
the UK,
They just read it.
But then here, like
they explain it.
they kind of explain it, but they're talking
Quiet.
about like the first sermon I went to sermon. First one I went to was talking about making friends.
Oh.
And I was just like, this is weird. But like, so then like they were just talking about cliques and everything, and then like I was just like, okay, well she's acting like there's not cliques when there is. So I was like, you're saying that there's no cliques, and it's you. And I'm like, I'm literally experiencing like thousands. Like I'm like, this is all cliques. It literally all that is. So she was like, it's not the cliques, it's you. So then like, so she was like putting the blame on like, like yourself, being like, go talk to that person. Just because they're in a clique doesn't mean you can't go talk to them. I'm like, yes, I can go talk to the people in the clique, but they're not going to let me into their clique because it's their clique. And obviously, even in the cliques, you have cliques.
Sure.
Because that happens with everyone. Like, obviously, there's 3 people you're closer to in a group of 5.
Yeah.
Because that's just like how life works. But I was like, then I'm like, well, am I not trying hard enough to make friends?
Right.
Then I'm like, but I'm trying. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But also, I probably could be trying a bit more. But like, there's always that kind of give and take.
So, I have a lot of thoughts about what you guys just said. I don't want to overwhelm.
Like your brain's just like.
I will just speak from my own experience. That's a really common thing. And what I've come to realize, because growing up in church, it gives you a different perspective, obviously. And then going to Sagu, we were like, hey, we want to take our faith really seriously and understand, like, hey, what is this? Where did it come from? Is the Bible just a game of telephone? Like, how do we know it's reliable? Was Jesus an actual person? Like, did he really do miracles? Like, what's all this about? Like, in my head, it can be really complicated, but it comes down to one thing. It's like, Jesus is either Lord, liar, or a lunatic. Because he claimed to be God. So if you're a human being claiming to be God, like if I sat down and I was like, guys, I mean,
if you did that in today's age, you'd be like, you are crazy.
I'm not a God, I'm the God. And you'd be like,
you're mad.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, I'm either lying, I'm crazy and I do believe it, but it's not real, or I'm actually God. Those are the only 3 like logical, right? Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, then I gotta actually consider what Jesus said, right? Because you gotta look at what the evidence is to inform that decision. Because this decision of deciding if I believe that Jesus is Lord or a liar or a lunatic will inform how I live my life. And if I determine that he's a lunatic and a liar, I should do what I want because I'm only here for maybe 70 years and that's it, and it's just going to be nothing afterwards, right? Or maybe I can go examine another religion if I want or whatever. But if he's Lord, then I need to take it seriously because if he said that he's the way, the truth, and the life, that if you want the promise of eternal life to live for forever in heaven with him, then you need to trust him. So I'm like, okay, I need to take that seriously if that's true, right? Because if I discover that that's true and I don't take it serious, well, there we go. I deserve whatever hell or whatever exists for the people that are going to be disconnected from God. Because I'm deciding to turn away from truth, right? So that was my framework going into learning about the Bible. And then to me, when I look at the Bible, I'm like, okay, Jesus said this is like the inspired word of God. That God worked through people to inspire this book to be like a manual for humanity, basically. So then my next step is, okay, I got to take the Bible serious and to see if it's able to be proven or not proven. Because if it's not proven, like it's either all true or none of it's true. There is no in between. There's not. And if I can disprove it logically, be like, okay, I can say I don't think Jesus existed. Like I'm looking at the evidence. Then great. Like I'm in my 20s. I'm gonna wipe my hands. I'm gonna go live how I want. I'll go do every desire I want to do. But if I get to a point, which is what happened to me, where I got to a point where I was like, man, wow, this is really making a lot of sense. And I say this, like the evidence for the Bible and for Jesus will get you to the door, but religious experience will get you through it. And for me, that's what happened was I see the evidence, and my friends at school would always be like, okay, well, what about this? Like, how do you know this is true? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me go like research it. So I research it, right? Because I don't want a faith that's just based on my parents. I want a faith that's mine, right? And so I just got to the point where I was like, I can't logically turn this away in good faith, like good conscience, to disprove what I see here because there's too much evidence. But the problem in my eyes is like not everyone's going to go to 3 years and spend like researching that. You know? So it's like, I don't expect anyone to do that either, but that's just my story. That's just like...
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm just thinking of now, like the difference between our churches and the churches here is like there's a bog standard in the Catholic Church. Like you can go to a church in a different country, like if it's a Catholic church, they are all like trained the same. Whereas here, there's so many different interpretations. Like each person interprets it differently and then says their interpretation. Whereas like the Catholic Church is like that, there's just consistency. So I think that's why like it's so different and like ours are so repetitive because there's that just consistent like this is our thoughts and like it works as like one like mind, the Catholic Church. Whereas over here like you could have your sermon here in Florida and you'll go to a different state and it's the completely opposite interpretation of it. Which I don't know whether that makes it... It's interesting that obviously people have different interpretations and interpret it different ways, but then what is the right interpretation?
Yeah, that's a good way to that's a great question. The way that I've always interpreted that question is that there are like A-level issues, like A-level tiered issues, right? And then there are B and C level tiered issues, right? A lot of the disagreements, which I agree with you, I think are dumb. And I think that a huge advantage the Catholic Church has over Protestants is unity. Unity of belief.
Like, that's why you have the Pope. Like, if nothing, everything goes through the Pope. If the Pope's word is not the same for everyone, then like, what's the point of having a Pope?
And the weakness of Protestants is the fragmentation. So, when you look and you study about what their disagreements are actually about, a lot of them are C-tier issues. It's, do you sprinkle them or do you fully baptize them in the water? Like, it's just like, okay, someone disagreed about this and started a whole other denomination because they disagreed. And it's like, okay. But a lot of the, like, yes, in your example, you can travel across the United States and you'll find a different preacher who's teaching a different thing. But the odds are unless you go to like a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or like which we would not even consider Christianity at that point, they would, like a different denomination of Christianity would be teaching an A-tiered issue would be very similar across the board. That would be like, Jesus is God.
Yeah.
He came to, it's basically what I just described to you, right? Those are all A-tier issues. Anyone that disagrees with comes out of an A-tier issue would be considered like heresy. So that's where you have the Mormons, like the Joseph Smiths, right? The Rutherford, I think his name is Rutherford Hayes. I think he's the founder of Jehovah's Witness. Those would be, and any other cults, stuff like that. Those are like not considered.
Yeah,
Christians.
no, I agree with you. Like over here, like everyone, that A tier, like that you just said, like that is consistent through I think the whole of US. I think what I'm getting at is like the verses. Like when we hear verses in the Bible, like there's certain ones that they pick, and then they're interpreted the exact same. Whereas like yesterday, like you had the verse, and then they're giving their interpretation of what they. That's where I think they slightly differ. Some may be the same, but like. They put their real life, which is interesting for me because like they put their real life experience and apply it to that. But then that's what I think is like you wouldn't get the same everywhere. But the A-tier message is the same. I'm talking about like where you're like those messages like differ.
And you find that problematic?
Potentially, like not fully. Like I find it interesting. Like it makes people think. I would say more than like in our church. Like you kind of just in our church you kind of just take it for what it is on like face value. So it's like obviously people over here, I feel like people putting their own personal experiences into it, which makes you like interesting because then you either agree with what they're saying or you don't.
So let me clarify a little bit on
Go for
what
it.
they're like what we learned about is there's two like big terms. They're called exegesis and eisegesis, and that's just a big way of saying that you basically either draw the meaning from the text or you put your meaning into the text. So objectively, a solid preacher would exegete, like they would take the meaning out of the text, meaning that they would examine the Greek and the Hebrew words, and they'd examine the cultural, they'd examine the geographical, the archaeological evidence to draw out, and they may add a personal story, but they're not changing the meaning of the verse. They may say, hey, there's a few different angles we could go here, like we could say that this verse is about, we could, like a good example would be like a verse talking about how God's divine power enables us to live godly lives, right? You could either go say, I'm going to do a message about power, God's power. I'm going to do a message about godly living. So that wouldn't be an interpretation. That would just be like where I'm taking the text. But reverse that and you say, okay, I'm going to look at this verse and say, well, yesterday I had a fight with my wife and then she brought up this verse and so I'm going to just tell you what it means to me. That would be eisegesis, right? And so like the point of a Christian would, a Christ follower should do his or her own study. Like that's the thing about the Protestant religions is that the point of Martin Luther doing what he did in rebelling against the Catholic Church was to give people the Word of God in their own hands, because there was unchecked power with the religious leaders, right? Which led to a lot of manipulation that was going on at the time. So to me, that's an advantage that Protestants have, is like, hey, I'm going to check you. Every time you give a message, I'm going to have my Bible out. Like, I brought my Bible to church. I'm going to look at what you're saying, because this is important.
They used to give sermons in Latin, and the poorer people could not understand what the Latin was.
Yes. Right. So like the point of seeing these different paths that pastors could take these verses is for you as the person to check that. But people don't always do that.
No.
Is that? I don't know if like.
Oh yeah, I think for sure. I think like that's why it is so important for like receiving a word or like a sermon or whatever from a pastor is always like great and can always be beneficial for the church or the believer. Like ultimately, like that's why it's so important to read the scripture for yourself. And ask God, like, Lord, please reveal to me what this means, right? Instead of like trying to input your own meaning into it. And really, I think about this a lot, And I think one of the things that really stunts the growth like of a believer, like through church and everything, is like, I guess kind of like the loss of wonder, if that makes sense. Like the loss, like if you think about like education, right? I feel like a lot of times schools kind of like they rob the students, like the kids or whatever,
Creativity.
of like, yeah, and like that, like that love to learn, because everything is so structured and everything is just so like, I don't know, like mundane, I guess. And like you remove, like the classroom settings a lot of times just removes the opportunity for kids to like allow their wonder
Yeah.
to like
Also,
to like for them to express their wonder, right? And the things that they're like really interested in and want to learn about. And I think a lot of times churches do the same thing for believers, where it's like you're just taught that like the way you learn about God is just to go to church, listen to a sermon on Sunday, do worship, and then read the Bible on your own. But like,
yeah.
you know, you're just like reading to highlight a verse or whatever. You're not like really taught to like, okay, what are you curious about God, or like what do you struggle with God, or whatever, and just take the time to learn about it and like enjoy. Like that's the whole point of having a relationship with God, is like allowing your wonder and like your just love to like, okay, God, who are you? Like what, like I don't know, like what the things like I want to learn about, like why have you like placed these desires in me, right? And it's just, and that's kind of like a person by person thing. It's not going to be the same for everyone, but I think that like that's the point of the relationship with God, and like the point of having that time alone with Him and spending time in His Word and just learning about like who He is, really. And I think
relationship.
yeah. I think that's like the church like system,
Yeah.
like a lot of times just doesn't allow the believer to have that.
Yeah.
I really think like me growing up in school, like in a private school, you know, like in church all my life, there was like this weird phase in high school where, and then even in college too, where I was just like, you know what, like I don't just want to believe this because like this is where I grew up and because like this is what I've been told to believe like all my life. Like I want to know what the heck I believe in. Like I want to know why I believe, right? And I just started like, whatever question I had, like why do we tithe? You know, why do they teach a difference between tithing and giving? What is worship? Like is worship just singing? Is like what does it actually mean to worship God, right? Like just ask all those questions and like just read and research and just like fall in love with learning about God, right? Like in Jesus and whatever. And like that, I think that really was the key to me, because I had a lot of friends that I grew up with, like same path like as me, Christian school, like church all their lives, whatever, and like they like split off, you know, and you know everyone has like different, I don't know, like tragedies or hardships or whatever that like can cause them to steer away or whatever. But like I think for me especially, like someone who like had a loving family or whatever, like generally like, a pretty good life, like I could see myself like if I hadn't have taken the time to like really like learn about God on my own and solidify like that belief for myself, like aside from everything else, I think it would have been really easy for me to turn away, like when my friends, you know, like turned away as well. So
Yeah, I always thought that was interesting too. Like, how can all these kids grow up in the exact same environment, and then some go some way, some go the other?
yeah.
And that's like the nature versus nurture.
Yeah, there's so many
factors
factors that goes towards that, but for me that was like an anchor for sure.
Well, we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
We got
I'm
other
about
stuff to do today.
pee my
Same. I'm so cold and I need a wee so bad.
Is there any other final thoughts before we close it out?
No.
No, I'm good.
Well, thank you guys so much for being generous with your time, carving this out in the day. I really loved hearing.
No, it was
about
like we could talk until like we could do a 5 a.m. like talk
Oh, yeah,
all
easy.
day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Easy.
you guys on Instagram, or where can people find you if they want to ask you about
Yeah.
questions?
If you want to.
Or
Yeah.
if you don't want to be found.
Don't find
Probably
me.
not.
All right.
Yeah.
Zableski.
I've got.
Figure out how to spell
I've
that.
got.
Yeah, if you figure
Yeah.
out how to spell
Yeah.
Sobleski, you can earn
Yeah, I can
a
add it.
DM.
I've got a law with Alyssia account. I'll use that one.
There we go.
Not my
There we
personal
go.
one, and then that's a problem to spell my name.
There we go.
Alyssia?
All right, you got some
Alyssia?
work to do, people. Thank you so much. Tune in on the next episode of Second Floor Experience. Peace.
I want to talk to you. Not now, later. No, now.